Well, we've had players have responded, well this week in terms of, the work that they're doing, the work that we've done. This is a difficult preparation on both sides of the ball for the multiples of things that, Mississippi State does on defense. A lot of pressures, even odd, a lot of different stuff. Dak Prescott is a difficult preparation, not only in and of himself in that he's having a great year as a passer, but he's also the leading rusher on the team. But it's also a function of their offensive, system is really well conceived and very difficult, and a lot different than what we've played against here for a while. So, but our players have done a really good job of working to try to get ready for this game, and we're looking forward to the challenge. It's always difficult to play on the road. It's difficult to play in Starkville, and so our players have to have a special focus and a mindset when you're playing on the road, so that you don't get distracted by all the other things that's going on and focus on what's happening on the field. One thing that I do have to report, Chris Black, who has actually injured his ankle way back in camp, and he has tried and tried and tried, to, compete for us all year long. He hasn't got to play a whole lot. Sometimes he felt better than others, but it's just been a nagging, reoccurring thing, and, we kind of all felt like the best that he could do is to go ahead and get it repaired, because it was something that could be repaired. So, we made that decision this week, and he did everything he could for the team. He did everything he could to try to play. I know it was disappointing for him not to get to play more, but it was a lot to do with not being full speed, all year long. So that's the only injury thing that I have to report.
Start with Aaron.
We've heard coaches say that a team plays how it practices during the week. How early in the week do you get a feel for how a team is responding, and how have they done this week coming off an emotional win?
I already said how we've done, so I already answered that question, I think. But, the players have done a good job all week. But, I'm a believer in perfect practice will help you play better in the game. Whether that's always true or not, I can't really say that. We seem to do a little better when we practice well, when guys are focused and prepare well. They make less mental errors. They tackle better. We have less penalties. We play better on special teams. I don't think you can really compete the way you need to compete against really good competition if you don't have the right level of sort of mental intensity. And if you're not focused, they don't have the right level of mental intensity, so you're not going to anticipate things and do things the way you need to be able to have success against a good team. So, and I think when you practice well, that certainly allows you to develop the confidence that you can do that in the game.
Front here with Chris.
As the things have gotten tougher on defenses the last few years, how has Kirby Smart kind of grown as a coordinator?
Well, Kirby's done a really good job for us, for 9 years now, and good job even before that in the time that we spent together. And, I think that the more history you have on people that you play, so the continuity, being in this league for a long time, it helps. The first thing we always look at is, what did the team do against us last year? And, what could we have done better? And how do we need to adjust that? So, but that carries over with your coaches too, because they've been through it, they know it, they understand it. We study it in the off season to try to get things fixed. So I think the continuity really helps. I mean, knowledge and experience is invaluable when it comes to being a signal caller. And Kirby has done a fabulous job for us.
Cecil.
First, just to follow up, Coach. Well, Chris is
recuperation from surgery? Will that take him through the spring, being out?
I can't say that for sure. You know, I didn't talk to Doc after the surgery. I probably will soon, but I don't think he'll be able to return this season.
And just as a follow-up to that, how valuable has it been to be able to add Richard Mullaney as a fifth-year guy with the injuries you've had in the receiving corps?
Well, you know, I think Richard has done a really good job for us all year long. He's very dependable, very smart, can play a lot of positions, and he's played very well for us in the games. So we have just, you know, this is, what, 3 or 4 guys that, you know, we've lost at that position. And if we didn't have him, I think he filled a tremendous void for us and did an outstanding job of it. And with the guys that we got hurt, we wouldn't have had anybody else really to fill that void. So, you know, hopefully we can stay healthy from here on out and not have any more issues at that position, especially.
Front right with Mark.
You touched on this a little bit, but when we're preparing for a guy like Dak, do you use multiple guys, and also who's been sort of filling that role to give your defense a look this week?
Well, you know, they're a fastball team, so they're gonna go pace of play. You know, they're gonna try to keep you from being able to substitute. They stay in the same personnel group about 95% of the time, so they're not substituting a lot. So I think, you know, our theory of what we've tried to do all year long is, you know, play a lot of guys, especially up front, so that, you know, sometimes in roles, but sometimes just sub them in there to play so we don't get, you know, tired. And we don't get the big guys tired especially. So they don't just let you substitute at will. So you got to rotate your guys the best you can. And, you know, that's our plan going into this game.
Middle with Michael.
You said that they were a little bit different than they had been in the past offensively. Is that
No,
what
I didn't say they were different. I said it's different than what we've played against.
Okay. All right. Then we'll just ask them about their running game. I know Dak runs the ball most of the time, but what do you see from their running backs and their ability to run?
Right. Well, you know, the running backs that they have do a really good job. They're good receivers. You know, one guy's small and very fast and very quick, very elusive. The other guy's a little more all around, you know, sort of power back. And but, you know, the guys are good receivers. They do a good job of executing their offense, and they all have capabilities of making, you know, big plays. I don't think their lack of production is because of their ability. I just think it's their choice that the skill guys they have, the receivers they have, the quarterback that they have, I think they just pass the ball more, you know, this year. And that lends itself to making the quarterback runs even more effective.
Right next to him, Matt.
Nick, 2 quick questions. First of all, I know you mentioned about Starkville being a tough place to play. Players have talked about like the cowbells and different things that make that kind of a unique environment. From your perspective, what aside from that or including that makes it a tough place to play?
Well, I've yet to be any place in the SEC and I've been in this league now for 14 years. I've yet to go anywhere where it's not tough to play. All right, and I'm not, you know, I mean, you tell me where it's not tough to play. It was tough to play at Georgia. It was tough to play at A&M. It was going to be tough to play this week at this place. It's tough to play when you go to LSU. It's tough to play when you go to Florida. It's tough to play when you go to Tennessee. So, you know, the cowbells are the cowbells. You know, you can think about and focus on the cowbells, or you can focus on what you got to do your job. You know, and we hadn't talked about them all week. That's the first time they come up, but I don't know if that's an issue or not. If you say our players are talking about it, I guess it is. I guess I need to address it with them.
I guess the better way for me to have worded that was just what makes that unique in terms of a place to play.
It's the only place I ever play that they have cowbells. I mean, that's unique enough, isn't it? I mean, what else can you say?
And the second question was just in terms of Cam Robinson. So you said the other day how you felt like he played his best game of the season. Why did you feel like that?
Because he played good. I mean, I don't know how to answer those questions. When a guy performs well in the game and you grade the film and he grades out good and he did a good job and he could block the guy he was supposed to do, that's why I felt that way. He did it more often than he did any other time. So it wasn't about backflips or anything like that. It was just doing his job very well, dominated his space, won his battle more often than his guy beat him. And that's how you know whether a guy played well or not. So he played well.
Two more. We'll start with Alex and then Neil in the back.
Wanted to ask you about Duranian Wilson. He's obviously his size. He's kind of a matchup nightmare almost against anybody he goes against. What's the plan to kind of...
Well, he is a big physical receiver, and he's very productive, especially on the long ball. And he's gotten better every year that he's been there. You know, unless you've got a guy that's 6'5", it's a problem, just like basketball. All right, so, you know, we had to guard him last year. And, you know, he is a challenge, but I think that there's a certain way that our guys need to try to play against him, and he can be very physical if you try to jam him, and, you know, he tosses people around a little bit because he is a physical guy, so, you know, that's going to be a challenge for our players as well. But his size and, you know, his ability to adjust and judge the ball, especially on the long ball, have been great assets for him all year long.
Last one in the back with Neil.
Coach, what makes Michael Nicewander such a joy to coach, and why is he such a good teammate?
Well, because I think everything that anybody thinks that a football player or a competitor should be in terms of work ethic, doing the right things, always giving 100%, always trying to pay attention to do things right, puts the team first all the time. I think he's very well liked by his teammates. He cares about the team more than he cares about himself. I don't know that he ever asked the question, what about me? You know, how much am I going to play? He's always, what can I do for the team? All right, so I can't think of one thing that I would say that if you were looking for the perfect attitude player on your team, that he wouldn't fit that. I mean, and, you know, the guy is, you know, really tough, and he plays as close to his full potential as anybody on our team because of the character and attitude he competes with. All right, thank you.